Yes, so welcome to Vasily's Garden, folks. We've been getting a few requests. There's a list of topics that I'm going to be going through, and thank you for all you out there who have shared your ideas of what you'd like me to do in my little segments, because we've got so many different topics, and I feel like I've covered them all. But there's so many more still that I haven't, because the list is growing. Now, today's one is soil. What makes good soil? And I'm not going to build it for you, but I'm going to go through some of the different locations here in the garden bed to show you what's going on here. And this is a bed that we prepared already. We've got our compost, our planting mix, our straw, our superfood, all the wonderful stuff that I always talk about. But the aim here, in fact, is to get the life back into the soil, to build the microbial activity. The life of that is what helps plants grow bigger. So we don't feed plants, the microbes do, the soil does, because it's alive. And for it to be alive, you need to put the nitrogen in there, you need to put the carbon in there, all natural. Because if you use chemicals, it's okay for the short term, but the long term, you're killing off the life. And when you kill the life off, what does that mean for your plants? They become reliant on the chemical induction. And if you don't give them any more, they go backwards and they die. So here, we're doing the opposite. We're breeding it here. And you're aiming to get that humus texture, which is like your typical soil, but it holds moisture in it, it holds bacteria in it, it holds lots of life in it, and that's what you want to be able to create. This is really young, because it's only a few weeks old that I've planted it and done the mix. But when you get into it, and you hold the soil, and we talk about texture. See that, how it forms? And then when you press it, it crumbles away. That's what you want to see happening with your soil. That means it's holding its moisture. It's because it can hold a lot more moisture than your typical sandy loam. Not clay, but clay is a completely different topic, where this is the life. And that's what you want to create. Now, something even better than this. Chickens, folks, because they do all the work for you. And they are our best composting machines that you could ever imagine. They do a lot of digging and they do a lot of pooing. And they eat all the grubs in the soil, all the bad ones that is, and they give you something in return that is so valuable for your garden that you just can't go by without having some of this stuff happening. Now, I know not everybody can have chickens in their garden. Some of you got courtyards, but a minimum 2 chickens is what you need. So don't go with the 1 chicken, it'll go crazy. You can't have 1 chicken on its own. 2 or 3 is great, and they need a little bit of a run. So if you've got a 3x3 area and you can move it around a little bit, that'll be fine for them. But here we've got pretty much a house block, folks. And what I've done here is I've spread out in the past, almost anything you can imagine. We've got straw, big bales of straw have gone down here a few months ago, and then we've had lots of grass clippings going in. You can see scraps of old food that we haven't eaten, potatoes too as well, celery's over there. And we're going to dig right here. Hey, sweetheart, we're going to dig right here? What do you reckon? Yeah? No, we're not going to be there. And going to see what's going on under here. Now, this is where I've laid the straw down, and it was probably about 4 inches, 100 mil thick, if not more, when I first laid it down. You'll notice the remnants of the straw in the far corner, which is still, well, not untouched, but it's settling down and decomposing on its own. Whereas over here, this is where the chickens run all the time, up to the door, because that's where we come from, and they do all their business, and we throw food around this area as well. So let's dig some up and see what's going on underneath. Have a look at this. There's the straw. See the layers of the straw? Look at this. Look at the life here. The worms are in there. I just found one. There was a few more in there. They've gone hiding. There's another one there, just fallen down. So this soil, well, this humus, that's what they've created here for us. Look at the moisture. It holds beautiful moisture, and it just crumbles away beautifully as well. And that's what you want. That's the texture you want. Look, we've even got some oyster shells here. That's fantastic. Now, when it comes to making your soil, not everybody's got chickens, that's right, or making humus or organic matter or compost. Well, you can do it yourself by layering it. More worms. This soil is alive, and what I've got to do with this is dig it out and put it into the garden bed between the seasons. But you can make it, like I said earlier, you can add compost, chicken manure, you add some straw in there, you can put some grass clippings, making sure it's not the invasive type of grass, so just the upright grass, let it decompose. Now you can do it straight in your garden bed if it's untouched. Look at that, hey? She's at work, looking around, cleaning up, and that's what they do best. Dig around, find them all. Good girl. So by layering it and then mixing it through, you get this texture over time, which activates the microbes and turns into humus, which is important. And that's what you want in your garden. Now, normally, we'd have about 30 or 40 chooks living in here, but we've got it down to about 12, which is okay, because you know what happens when mama comes over. There's always one less chook when she leaves. So this is their perched area, and this is where all the good stuff lands on the ground. And I haven't dug this for a few months, and it's time to actually take this up and put it straight into the garden as well. Have a look at this. It's gone pretty hard. Oh yeah. Oh, that smells good. It's full of chicken manure. That's what's happening here, folks. So all these straw shavings and the manure underneath, which is decomposing beautifully, all this will get scraped up straight into the compost bin or straight into your garden. So if you want to put the life in your soil, you've got to start with the compost and the manures, and then your straw as well. And if you can dig it through, all the more better. Or otherwise, just layer it and let nature do its business for you. Slowly, over time, it'll start to decompose and the moisture will stay there. If you don't feed it, it won't stay alive. And the secret to life is water. Have a look over there, just where I dug. The girls have come back there to clean up all the worms. Hey, leave the worms alone. They're important. Now, worms do an important role as well. They aerate the soil for you. So if you haven't got worms in your garden, buy yourself a colony box, get some worms into your garden, and that way you put the life back in it. So you've got a combination of worms that bring on the bacteria and the fungi that starts to grow. You've got your chook manure that activates it as well, and then it all becomes organic matter, humus and compost and manures all together into the garden, and that's where you grow your veggies, because that's how you'll get the density of nutrition back into your body. If your food isn't grown properly, then whatever you're eating, I don't know what's happening with that and if it's actually doing any good for you, because your body needs minerals like we all do, and I need them, and I love it every day. Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com, folks, for great information. And as you're watching this when it's just been uploaded, well, we're holding our first workshop, our fruit tree workshop, and we'll let you know how we go with the participants who come along. Otherwise, have a great day. vasilisgarden.com, and EOFI sale is still on. Take advantage of the great specials every day. From me, Vasili, Maresi.